Is ready for the worst-case scenario, a major hurricane in the Gulf. Congresswoman Ginny Brown-Waite joins us now from Tampa, Florida. Congresswoman, great to see you today.
Thank you very much.
I know that you authored a letter to FEMA.
Good to be on.
You authored a letter to FEMA. I know that you were worried about the fact that, you're all dealing with the oil spill in the Gulf now. How could a hurricane complicate things even further?
Well, obviously, a hurricane is going to churn up the waters. It's not only going to churn up the waters, but we could have tidal surges, which, of course, could very easily bring the oil to the west coast of Florida and possibly even around to the east coast. So I wrote to Craig Fugate, who is the administrator of FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, just to say, what plans do you have? I can very happily tell you that Craig Fugate came from Florida, dealt with the spills in 2005, and he called me. He's not one of the bureaucratic administrators. He's a down-to-earth, feet-on-the-ground kind of guy who's dealt with this issue. The one thing that he stressed and that we need to stress is, if there is a hurricane, the major thing is for people to evacuate if that is the call from FEMA and, of course, the governor. Evacuation of individuals is the prime issue. Afterwards, if indeed any oil comes up onto the shore, then that will be cleaned up. We tend to forget that in 2005, when we had all the hurricanes there, that there were oil spills. There were oil spills from vessels that sunk and from some of the other coastal holders of petroleum products. So Craig Fugate is very familiar with cleaning up after there is spilt petroleum products.
And I know, Congresswoman, that you're reassured by the response you've gotten from him. We want to share part of the written response that FEMA had to your concerns. This year, all of our planning has, of course, involved consideration of the BP oil spill's potential effects on all response capabilities and recovery scenarios. The existence of the spill does not change FEMA's initial priority during a response, which is to support the states and do everything possible to protect lives and property. So with a good response now from him and now waiting to see what happens with the tropics this summer, what are you hearing from your constituents and local business people who are more concerned about the immediate impact you may have if the oil reaches that far east for you?
Well, right now there is no oil on the west coast of Florida, and that's one of the things that I'm hearing from my constituents, from fishermen who are just concerned. Certainly tourism is down. Right now there is no effect, so individuals should be encouraged to travel to Florida, and let's hope that the hurricane season is a very, very mild one. There also has been a study by a USF professor that said that because of the tectonic plates in the Gulf, that he doubts very much that the oil would come to the west coast. Now, as you know, right now it is in the Panhandle, and my heart goes out to the people who are dealing with this issue in the Panhandle, but I can tell you that Americans should have a lot of belief in FEMA this time around, because Craig Fugate clearly is an expert at dealing with these kind of emergencies, having come from Florida.
All right, Congresswoman Ginny Brown-Waite, great to talk with you today, and we're wishing you all the best with both the oil and the impending hurricane season as well.